family, what's going on? Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching this. It is I, Elder John, here at the campus of Victory Christian Church International. Sounds good, doesn't it? Well, what I wanted to do is welcome you all to the bowling experience at the V 2018. I chose to make a video in lieu of just having us spend a lot of time during the draft to go over all the guidelines. Every year, I take about 15 or so minutes to go over the guidelines. If you got any questions, you can ask any questions. But I figured I'd try something new this year. And I wanted to go ahead and just send out a video and just kind of let you guys know what's going to happen and what we're looking forward to this year. This year it's going to be fun. Every year we've changed some things up to make it a little bit more convenient for you. So this year we decided we're going to stay with the three-man league, and I think that's going to be good for us. It gets us out a little earlier. We'll start at 2 p.m. as we said. So I'll probably reiterate that again when we all get together. But my purpose of sending this video, one, is to thank you for being a part of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And just wanted to kind of go over these so we don't have to take time during the draft day to do that, because we get a chance to bowl for free. And so I want to take advantage of some of that. You all can bowl, and we'll come by, and some of the captains, you get a chance to meet them, and they'll talk to you about a few pointers before we get started with our season. Well, one of the guidelines that Bowl America has, and they don't want you to bring any food from the outside into the bowling alley. Sometimes we try to do that every year because we leave church and we'll go bring food in, but they would unless it's approved, sometimes we'll have at the end, not sometimes, but every year, what we decide to do is we have what's called potluck, and we bring our own food in. But they kind of shun that, bringing in other things to eat while we're there bowling. So just be mindful of it. Jackie is really cool. She hasn't really said a whole lot about it, but you want to kind of watch that because they like for you to kind of go to the bar and get something to eat if you can. Also, just a couple things. Once your ball hits the gutter, it's out of play. Some of you guys know that. It's not new to bowling, but if your ball hits the gutter or if it comes out of the gutter and hits the pin, it's out of play. But we'll get to some of those other guidelines. On the scores, listen, we just want only the captains if we can, or if somebody who's normally bowling to change the score. It can get kind of funky when somebody else tries to mess with the computer and you don't know what you're doing. So try to be mindful that, okay, if you know what you're doing, we don't mind you changing the score or flipping something on the computer, but the captains know what they're doing, or you can find me or whoever I have assisting me that will help you get that taken care of, okay? Also, we want to make sure that you have at least 2 people, and we said that we had a 4-man team to have at least 2 people present. But since we're going to 3-man, I'm going to change that rule. You may see it written down here, but I'll try to reprint these. And 1 person has to be present before there's a forfeit. Now, we had 1 person come out last year, and none of their teammates came out. But we really want to encourage you to come out because we can't pre-bowl or post-bowl, and we don't want to delay our season. So we want to make sure that everybody's there, and everybody's there on time because we don't want anybody to forfeit a game. So if there's at least 1 person there, we can start rolling. And if you're there late, now I will say this, and I'll implement this. If you're missing, if it's the first bowler on the other team on the 4th frame, okay, then you'll have to wait to bowl the next game. All right, we don't want to delay the game because it takes a lot to get somebody caught up. So we'll start practice at 2, and we'll have about 5 to 7 minute practice, and then we'll get into the league. So I'll say the first bowler on the opposite team, 4th frame, if you're not there by then, you have to wait till the 2nd game to bowl, okay? All fees are due, even if you don't show up to bowl. That's something that's going to be very, very important. All right, let me change that. I'll say 4th frame. I'm going to leave it there, 4th frame. Anyway, all fees are due even if you don't show up to bowl. Some people say, well, I wasn't there, so do I have to pay? Yeah, you still got to pay the fees. We still owe the lineage to the bowling alley. So if you don't show up, please make sure that you're bringing your fees and making sure you're putting your fees in the envelopes. You don't have to pay me. You'll pay directly at Bowl America. Every console will have an envelope, 2 envelopes for each team. 1 envelope for each team. But you'll have the envelope, and we'll show you how to fill those out with your team names. Captains know how to fill those out. We're asking for a $24 deposit, and we'd like to have that before Sunday, February 25th. By then, we want to have that. That just covers your first and your last week of bowling. And then it's just $12 for the rest of the weeks. You can come and bring a check. Generally, what we say is the last 2 weeks of bowling, we don't accept checks because it takes time for them to process. And what happens is all the money goes into a bank account that Bowl America sets up for us, and they have to process your checks. So please make sure that you don't bounce any checks, or there is a return check fee that will be involved. All right, but you can, if you want to pay the whole thing off, you can pay the whole thing off if you want. If you want to pay half, however you want to pay it, but it is a minimum of $12 each and every week. All right. All right, etiquette, bowling etiquette. Yes, bowling has an etiquette, and we want to make sure that everybody knows what the etiquette is, and we want to make sure we're giving it to you for safety. Now, I have the sheet here, and we will make sure it should be in this email with you. You can review it at your leisure, but I'm going to go over it really quickly so you know what the etiquette is, because even when we bowl in bowling league, and what we are looking to do is we want to have a good time, we want to have fun, but get familiar with how bowling leagues kind of run. And some of the folks who have come out have been a part of the bowling leagues. They've joined bowling leagues and they're having a great time. And so some of the folks you'll see out there bowling, they bowl weekly and have a great time. We get a chance to meet different people. And again, for our church, this is going to be something that's going to be so much fun because we get a chance to fellowship and hang out together. And I think for a church, that's very, very important because we are a community. Amen. All right, number one. It's very important that you're on the lanes and ready to bowl when it's your turn to bowl. Sometimes we have to look for people, but we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're in and out in a timely fashion. I know the first few years that we did the league, we had a league behind us, so we had to be done by a certain time. And so we want to make sure that you are at the lanes when it's your time to bowl. And because we're going to a three-man league, it kind of goes kind of quick. So you want to make sure that whatever you do, you order your food, come on back, and then try to make sure you get back in time to bowl, okay? Because we don't want to skip anybody to have you make up the frame. It kind of slows things down, okay? Also, lane courtesy. It's just etiquette to give lane courtesy. What is lane courtesy? Is when somebody right next to you is up the bowl, you don't go up right there up the bowl and rush up and throw your ball. One of the things that can happen is somebody can get hurt. There's been times when people try to throw their ball, the ball kind of falls behind them, and somebody can get hurt, or they're walking, and some people they don't walk straight. You'll be surprised. Some people kind of go sideways. And so you want to make sure that you're giving lane courtesy. So when somebody is up, you let them go, or they'll let you go, and then you wait till they come back, and then you go. But you want to make sure there's lane courtesy. And there's a distraction sometimes to other bowlers. The focus is off because you're up throwing it, and somebody's right next to you throwing the ball. And if you've gone out in free play bowling, you've seen that. But generally in league play, we give what's called lane courtesy. Only one lane courtesy, not the two lane courtesy. Somebody right next to you, just give them the courtesy to go before. You guys work it out however you work it out, all right? All right. It's also important that you wear bowling shoes. And if you have your own bowling shoes, that'd be great. But Bowl America has been so gracious that when we're in the league, they will give you bowling shoes. Just go up to the counter and say, hey, I'm part of the bowling experience at the V. The V League is what they call us. And they will give you a pair of bowling shoes. Now, those bowling shoes are to be worn only inside the bowling facility. Do not go outside with the bowling shoes and get them wet, because you can bring debris from the outside to the lanes, and then when people go up on the lanes, they could slip. They got rocks on the lane, and that's not what it's for. You know, if you notice on the bowling shoes, there's that soft, I guess it's cotton or whatever. But some people slide when they bowl, and that's what that's for. And so other people who are bowling, and you don't want to mess the lanes up for the league bowlers, because they do slide sometimes, and if they get stuck, they can get themselves hurt. So it's best not to wear the bowling shoes outside, or make sure that you're not wearing your regular tennis shoes or boots or dress shoes or whatever out on the lanes. You need to have a pair of bowling shoes on when you're out there bowling, because that is the required footwear for a bowling alley. So make sure that you are getting a pair of shoes. You can order shoes offline, and you can even order bowling balls offline. And I will see if I can talk to someone. We had a gentleman that helped us with bowling balls, and I'll see if I can find somebody that can maybe come in for those who are interested in purchasing your own bowling equipment. We will discuss that when we get together. All right. Other important things. Stand behind the ball return before when it's your time to bowl. We want to make sure that you are not crossing over in somebody's way. So that's kind of like the lane courtesy deal. But also I want to mention there is a line that as you approach and you go up to roll your ball, and I can show you all when we get together on Sunday, there is a line that you do not want to cross. And that line has a lot of oil out there. It is important that you know that, because if your foot goes past that line, you will slip and you will fall. So that is highly important that you pay attention that you are throwing your ball behind the line. It starts where the gutters are, and there's a line. Don't cross that line. Trust me, you do not want to cross that line because you will slip and you will fall because they do oil the lanes with an oil machine, and that just it's just for ball reaction. And for those who have reactive balls, they kind of react. It's a whole long story, but this is, trust me, there's oil out there. There's oil out there on them there lanes. All right. One of the things we have there about limited talking when people up to bowl, some people want consideration that I'm getting ready to bowl. So, hey, talking, but we're having a good time. But just kind of think about when somebody's up there, they're trying to concentrate and trying to get the ball on the mark and do what they got to do. So let them focus and they come back, have all the talk you want to have. But just kind of be mindful that when somebody's up there, they are focusing and they're trying to concentrate, and you don't want to be screaming at them and yelling at them, but we want to have a good time. It's customary when somebody comes back, we give them dap, and dap is just high five, they get a strike. If they miss something, we encourage them, we give them a little fist bump, just say, hey, way to go, that's okay, it's all good, and so we're all encouraging, Now, yes, people do want to win, but everybody gets dap. So if you have a problem, I don't like giving dap, bring your hand sanitizer, just still get some dap. We're showing some love out here, all right? All right, I have down here, don't provoke anybody or tease anybody or make fun of anybody. We're all out there trying to have some fun. We do joke around and we have a good time, but it doesn't get all where people are angry and yelling at one another and just upset. It's about having some fun. So you're coming out to have a very, very good time. And try not to get frustrated. So that means you're not gonna pay attention to me because I'm trying to get better at my game. But I'm not frustrated at anyone. So don't get mad at anybody. I know you want to get better. You might miss. I have to talk to myself. If I had a father growing up, I probably wouldn't get upset when I miss a ball. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. All right. No food or drinks out there on the computer area or when we approach. The food needs to stay back at the tables. You don't want any food spilled on the equipment. So make sure that you keep the food off the lanes, off of where we have the computer equipment. Make sure if you got any food, it stays back. If you got any little children that want to come down and run down and talk to you, we try to keep them up on the carpet area and not have them come down in the area where people are out there bowling and they got their bowling shoes because they got their street shoes on and they can bring debris out there as well. All right. Let me see. Use your own equipment. If you got your bowling balls you picked out or somebody else, it's not good to go, I'm gonna throw your bowling ball, Elder John, I'm gonna throw so-and-so's bowling ball. Well, they might have their own personal bowling ball. If they let you throw it, that's fine, but you wanna make sure you're not just, well, I'm gonna use your ball. And that's just customary that, you get your own ball, so if you don't have a bowling ball, find one in the alley that's yours, and if you and somebody decide to share it, that's fine too, but there are some people out there that have their own bowling ball, their own personal equipment, and it's fitted for their hands, and so one of the things you want to do is just grabbing on other people's stuff. There are some people I bowl with, they've got expensive equipment, you hear me? Very expensive equipment, and they've invested a lot in it. So you want to be mindful of that. But, if you want to throw my bowling ball, you are welcome to throw it out. Just ask me and you can throw my bowling ball. Please keep your hand back away from the return. That is important because the bowling balls are coming back, and sometimes we'll have the bowling balls get stuck in the back and we have to call and say, hey, ball return, and they'll come back, and 3 or 4 of them come back really fast at the same time. If your hand is there, you can be injured. So please make sure that as you're picking up your bowling ball, you watch your hands, make sure the other bowling balls come back so you're not picking up your ball and the ball comes back and hits your hand. So you want to keep your hands out of the way of the return. Anything that you have, please don't leave anything in the alley or take anything out the alley that is not yours. I know every year my wife and I, we go through and we try to clean up, and one of the things we try to make sure we're doing is an example to the bowling alley. We pick up things and we clean up things. So if you've got anything and you food on the table, just get your cups and everything else, just throw them away. And your personal belongings, we had a little lost and found last year from the V. I take your personal things home, but don't take Bowl America's things home. That belongs to Bowl America. So I'm gonna take this bowling ball, I'm gonna bring it back next week because I want to use it, I want to buy it, I want to look for it. Jackie probably will let you put it in the office sometimes, but we can discuss that if you come across that situation. I know how it is if you don't have your own bowling ball, you want the same ball for the next week. but you cannot, and I will repeat, you cannot take their bowling balls to your home or leave in your car. All right. Again, once you finish bowling, just return all of the items that are there. I may or may not have missed some things, but hopefully I got them all in. I'm at 15 minutes and 15 seconds, so that's enough time to give you, see, we save some time. If you listen to this now in your car, at home, wherever you are, that's 15 minutes we get back on Sunday so we can bowl. Listen, I love you all. Thank you all again for being a part of this. We're enjoying ourselves when we do this, and for the first timers, you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. And we thank you for being a part of the bowling experience at the V 2018. Love you all so very much. See you on the lanes.